Welcome to Speak Sex. I am your host, Eurydice. I actually wanted to, before I introduce my guests, I wanted to tell them a couple of things about the podcast, as I often do. I am a Greek from the island of Lesbos, so I'm actually a born lesbian, which is one of the most simple reasons that I became conscious of sex and words, like from age 0, right? Because I had to like hide in kindergarten the fact that I was a lesbian because it was so dirty. And it took me like, 16 years to like come out as a lesbian with a capital L, right? So, and of course my whole idea of like who I am, born with this extra sexualized, aspect, affected me forever. So I've worked on sexuality. I write books on it. I have sex advice, sex columns. A lot of my art is based on sexuality and particularly female sexuality. And I started this podcast as my response to the Me Too movement. So it really began because I felt the need to speak about it and make sure it lasts, right? Because we've had like 2 other feminist waves that kind of like achieved a couple of things and then died off. And my idea and hope for this podcast is that as people listen, they will become more comfortable speaking about sex, learning words that they may have not had access to, so that they can talk to their partners during, ahead, and not just depend on whatever feelings and little physical cues, and not worry that they should say no when they mean yes, and all that bullshit that we've been playing with that's so murky that now, it's hard to know like what's harassment and what's not, right? Mm-hmm. So for the sake of like both men and women, not just women, I feel that it's important that we develop this consciousness about all things sexual and talk about them, super comfortably. So first I want to promote the party, and then I'll go ahead and introduce them. The party is called Boudoir Surreal, and it's a masquerade gala. So it's kind of like a pre-Halloween gala. It's inspired by the Rothschild Illuminati ball with Salvador Dali, which I'm sure we'll hear a little more about, that ball. And it's this Saturday, October 19 in Wynwood. You can find it on Instagram, and then if you're interested, you can buy tickets, and the location will be announced, I guess, last minute. My first guest and main organizer is Ian, who practices karma rope shibari. Mm-hmm. So he specializes in self-suspension, and he's also very passionate about introducing new kinks to people, including and especially rope bondage. So his style is focused on creating and modifying ties that are unique, safe, comfortable, and I expect attractive aesthetically, right? Because like the thing I know most about Shibari is that it looks so hot. So that should be mentioned. So, and he has performed and given instruction at many play parties and dungeons, around the United States and America, and he's now living in South Florida, right? So welcome, Ian. And my other guests are a couple who from France, Catherine and Serge Gasque, and they are the creators of HIP Tantra. And they'll tell us all about it. And they have a space here in Miami, and they specialize in coaching of couples, groups, individuals, in any issue regarding intimacy. And they also participate in events, and they will be at the party on Saturday. They're going to do like a Tantra Puja circle, right, to get everybody to open up so they can play. So welcome to the podcast. I'll start with you, Ian. I would love to know a little bit more about your journey. So it's always like, the sexualized version of like the hero's journey, mm-hmm. right? Yeah. I started here and I found the rope and here I am.
Yeah, so Well, thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here with Kat and Serge and you, Eurydice. It's a real pleasure. I'm very grateful to help promote Boudoir Surreal things. So I've been in these different communities for about 4 or 5 years. I first found, my kinks have changed over time, the ones I focused on. First, it was exhibitionism. Then it was the rope bondage, going to parties and exploring and learning more about how to do things in a safe and pleasurable way, and that everybody left being happy with. And now I've really come to fruition. I worked for an event in DC called Boudoir Bohème, and it's very successful. They have a party once a month, and they have private parties. I think they have 2 or 3 parties a month. And I saw how there's an amazing organizer there, and how he did things, and I learned from him. I said, you know what? I see how these parties are done. I really think it's time for me to go off on my own and do my own thing. So I'm investing, and I believe in this. I quit my job, and I'm very excited about it. And it's really happening, which is amazing to me. We didn't even know if it was. We didn't really know if it was really gonna happen, but it really is. I promise it is.
Yeah,
so,
it's really happening.
We have a venue booked, amazing performers, a whole lineup of special performances and activities for people, and everyone's going to be trained and learning in special techniques to help everybody feel special and have the right kind of experience that they need to have when they're ready to have it. So, I'm so grateful to the community for helping this happen.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, but you didn't tell me enough about your journey.
My journey?
You started with exhibitionism, and then how did you get to the rope? And what kind of rope?
I love... before I was doing this, I'm a rope bondage artist, and I teach classes once a month in North Miami Beach or Bell Harbor. And we what's great about ropes is I love the way it feels. Some people are you could say that there's 2 kinds of rope tops. So a rope top ties other people. There are sadistic rope tops who enjoy pain and control and domination. But I'm more of a sensual rope top. I think I wrote about that in the description. So I love the way ropes feel. I love, pulling ropes across people's skin. I love when they give me the control over them. And it's amazing what you can do with a piece of rope. You can make something so beautiful and help someone feel empowered. And that's what people tell me after I've tied them up. And I'm always grateful when that happens.
They feel empowered by the fact that they were able to sit with
wearing
it
the ropes.
Peace,
it's like wearing a piece of medieval armor almost. It feels like it's protecting you, like you can do things. You have power. It's an empowering experience.
So it's a kinetic type of bondage. They can still move around.
Yes. It's not restraining. I can do restraining ties too, but most people say, "Oh, I don't know, I don't like that." But when they're wearing the ropes also they give you a special sensation. They release a hormone called oxytocin, which is the love hormone.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like getting a hug, but it's like constantly getting a hug. So you get this huge rush and this huge feeling of amazingness from it. And
it's silk ropes?
My ropes are synthetic nylon ropes, so they're very soft.
And you brought some for a little show and tell?
I did bring some, yes.
Okay, so can we see them?
Sure.
Thank you. I feel that, a lot of people are interested in the idea of it, but find it difficult to take that first step. Where do you buy them? And how do you, go out of your comfort zone, which is you imagining things or talking to your partner about them and actually learn something. White, interesting. White purity. Okay, let us feel this. Oh yeah, it's super soft and pretty thick. What's the circumference of this?
They're 3/8 inch ropes.
Yeah.
Triple twisted nylon ropes.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So where did you study? Where did I learn to do this? Yeah.
Going to parties in New York City and watching other people, and then practicing on myself. So, like I said, I specialize in self-suspension, so I can tie myself up and hang from things. And I love the way that feels for some reason. I remember I discovered it a few years ago, and I said, "This is amazing." It was a great experience.
Yeah, that's a very special thing.
Yeah.
I don't think there are that many people who self-suspend
it's
and
very
self-tie.
rare.
It takes an extra facility to actually.
Yeah, but because of that, because I love doing it, I have gain the skill and finesse to be able to do it at parties and for other people too. So
what do you love when you are tied and you're in that space?
I love the way it feels to be, it's like the ropes are around me. It's that sensation, that rush of oxytocin.
Right. But what do you feel when you're...
I feel safe, empowered, sexy, and ready for the next thing.
Right. Interesting. So it's a little bit like foreplay. It opens you up.
It definitely is exactly like
an
that.
Unfolding.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. So, and people can, again, look you up on Instagram or something and send you a message if they want to learn.
You can find me.
They don't want to go to the party, but they still want to figure out how to do this.
Yeah, they can search for Boudoir Surreal on Instagram or Facebook, or also Karma Rope Shibari. So.
And why
please
karma?
Please reach out.
Why karma? You think you release some karma in the process?
I don't know. I just like karma is a play on my last name. It's similar to my last name, so that's why. But it also evokes positive. It evokes good feelings. It's a sense of justice in the world. So I like that too.
Yeah. So kind of like reclaiming a little bit, right? Taking the bondage away from the jailers. And turning it around into a form of personal freedom.
In BDSM, there's a dom and a sub, and the sub gives power to the dom, and the dom receives it. So,
in the best scenarios, yeah. In the most woke versions,
That's what we hope for.
Yeah, that's what you hope for, exactly. So that, in a sense, the sub always has the last word, right? And do you switch, or you because by tying yourself, you give me the impression that you would switch, right? Because you become the object.
I love to get tied. I really do. But it's tough to find. I know skilled people. They're few and far between. So, but when I find someone, I'm always grateful for them whenever they can tie me up. So, yeah,
interesting.
So ropes are powerful, though. So. You have to be careful because sometimes you have to create a space for doing this because ropes can have such an amazing thing for people. They can actually make it so people will consent to things that they wouldn't otherwise. So people can get drunk on the ropes too. It's very, very powerful for some reason. So what you do is you set boundaries beforehand, tie them up. If they then whatever they don't agree to beforehand, you continue with that or within reason of appropriate, and then you wait. Or for a period of time, or you go get a meal together, or you see if you still want to spend time together, and then you do things later. And that's what people are doing. That's the right way to go about that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So, but if people are meant to be, they find a way. So
yeah. So, but the most common, the cliche understanding of it would be that you get tied up, and then someone does a little. Whatever, whipping or paddling
or flogging
or
tasing or shocking or all kinds of sensation stuff.
Electroshocking, right, all that stuff. I mean, what else would you be, kind of like opened up for? Yeah. So that's all the negotiation that's discussed in advance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll continue to try to translate this for the average audience.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy stuff we're talking about.
Well, but that's like our calling, right? We want, people to incorporate this without feeling that they have to change their identity and go on FetLife and, buy the expensive gear and, invest in outfits and whatever. Most people just want to vary their own sexual practice a little and incorporate kink, but for fun without going way far, unless they inadvertently discover an aspect of their sexuality they didn't know before, which can happen, but also you can go into a phase and then get out of it, try things and then move on. You went to exhibitionism and then you discovered you like the rope bondage more, and who knows what you'll be doing 10 years from now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I wish I knew. I'm excited to find out.
Yeah. Okay, so HIP Tantra. You guys, what would you like to tell me about it? Yeah, thank you. How long have you been doing it, first of all?
About over 10 years. And well, the way I would like to explain how we came into
Tantra.
Tantra.
That'd be great, Catherine. Yeah, thank you.
Well, we met in 98 in Miami.
Oh, okay.
And we got married, had a child, and after the first child, I experienced some blockages sexually and with my intimacy due to some issues during childbirth and other things. And also after you have a child, often you experience a low in libido, which I've heard from many women. So that was my case, and I really didn't want to risk a chance to damage our relationship because we were very much in love with each other, yet there was a disconnect physically, which led also to emotional disconnect. So I looked for different solutions to solve this, went to regular therapy, traditional therapy. I mean, that helped a little bit, but we got stuck in the story of, how do you feel?
Right.
Just talking, right. But
back to your childhood or whatever.
Yeah, all this stuff, but that's the past. So what I wanted was to connect with my husband. So after different experiences and searching different directions, we ended up finding Tantra. We actually traveled around the world. We left everything.
Oh, how fun.
How fun, yes.
So wait, so he took a break from work?
Yes.
Or you both took a break from work?
Actually lost my job.
Oh.
And just at the time when we were thinking about going travel.
Oh, okay.
And so
it
we
all
said,
worked out.
okay.
It was meant to be.
Let's
You
go.
said it was meant to be. Right.
It was the perfect opportunity. We had been going to Burning Man many years, and that was kind of the path to opening to different possibilities. And we really wanted to explore California, maybe find a new place to live. And I was drawn to California because there was a lot of esoteric and consciousness going on there, things that I couldn't grasp in Miami.
Yeah.
That I have to go and find it.
Yeah.
So we just went, leaving everything behind. That was actually after the second child. So we grabbed our kids, 2 kids, and just went with 1 suitcase each.
Perfect.
Perfect. It was just freedom, liberation, and let's go into the unknown, which led us to California. And to a healer that was doing tantric massage for couples. So we first experienced a massage with him, and we felt something that we hadn't been feeling for a while. We got activated. I got activated, actually. So I asked him, what do you think we should do now after this? And he said, well, I think you guys should look into Tantra. So that sent us to Hawaii, where we took our first classes of Tantra with the School of a Divine Feminine Institute. So the first session was just practices that really cleared the story and got us into presence with each other. Forgetting about the goals, forgetting about all this tension and the traumas that we may have had or issues, and just going back into the heart. So that was the main practice that for us was extremely
useful
and opened our eyes to a different way of connecting. Because I think a lot of times intimacy, we mix it with sexuality, and it's not necessarily the case. I mean, sexuality can be disconnected from intimacy.
Right. Yeah.
So Tantra showed us a way to really embrace ourselves and our love for each other, and awakening our sensuality and our sexuality through fun practices, playful practices that we can integrate in our life, in everyday life, which is busy, right? So
So what are some of those practices? Can you give us some examples?
The first that comes to mind is probably eye gazing, just communicating with your partner, just without a word, just with the energy, or just by diving into the eyes, opening your heart to your partner. But that's a typical one. Now, there are other ways to connect, and some are absolutely delicious, like caressing with a rose, or feeding some nice chocolate, or
just nurturing each other also, going back to the nurturing, and that allows, I think, for a man to learn to be a tantric lover is extremely empowering, because he learns to hold space for the feminine and allow the feminine to be in whatever shape and form she wants to be, in a vulnerability. And that, I think, will bring openness from the woman sexually also, because she feels safe and she feels like she can really let go in the arms of the man.
Yeah. So basically it sounds like slowing things down a little bit, right?
It is, definitely.
And then liberating the man very, very much from like the performance aspect, where he feels like he's gotta see this through, and
exactly.
Yeah, the goal is anxiety.
Exactly.
it's also Tantra. In Sanskrit means weaving the masculine and feminine energy, and it's also for the guy to connect with his feminine energy and let the woman give sometime and to be able to receive. So it allows the couple to be more at the same level and become more powerful and more have a better relationship, a better communication, and feel better.
More balanced, right? It would be more balanced. And it also means, Tantra means expansion. So we expand our consciousness. It is a spiritual practice.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the Tantra classes I took, not it's a long time ago, but they were almost always breath work. With a partner,
right?
Naked. Yeah. So the Tantra, I find the Tantra I've kind of like walked through here seems very watered down. What I had experienced like years, I mean decades ago in India and then in Boulder, Colorado, was very much a spiritual practice. There was like, it was not about orgasm. It was about connecting the breath to to like the physical experience of the body within, and delaying everything that we in the West, think we should, rush, exactly. Yeah.
Tantra has been bring to the West and went in many directions. There's the white Tantra, the pink
the
Tantra,
white Tantra
the red, the
totally
black
different.
Tantra.
Yeah.
And we stay in the pink Tantra, I would say.
So what's pink? It's like before red.
It's before red, exactly. Before red.
We get like all turned on.
R-rated, but not X-rated.
Exactly. Yes, we get people to get turned on through the senses and like foreplay, right?
Yeah.
Mind, body, heart, foreplay. I would say. Yeah. And really bringing our clients to just discover new things to include in their lives, right? That spice it up. And that's one way. I mean, you have the ropes. That's another way. That would be more dark tantra. We do have some practices in dark tantra with ropes, where you get to surrender when you are tied up. You surrender, and there's a lot of pleasure in surrendering.
Yeah. So it's HIP because like HIP opener, or is it an acronym? Okay.
Hot, inspiring, and playful.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
Playful. The playful part is very important. we are building up or boosting energy, the second chakra energy, meaning the life force energy, and the second chakra is so the center of energy. A chakra is it's about sex, but it's also about creativity and about fun. That's what's turns around the second chakra. So we play. Boosting this energy means, yes, sensuality and teasing, but it's also laughing.
Yeah.
It's also creating.
Yeah.
And we like during our sessions or during our games, like we will do at the Boudoir Surreal, we like to have people laugh, play, dance, and create. And that the way we boost energy and then allow people to move this energy in their body.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I find that, first of all, good sex, sex is good when you're like laughing and giggling and, laughing before and laughing right after orgasm, like, that it opened up something.
Right.
But yeah, I also find as a creative that kind of like going into sexual energy and not finishing, stopping it, and then going to work, it's such a better way to, download, like from the muse, if you have a relationship. So practically speaking, I think all of this stuff is useful. But, in the West, we like need access to those, those words.
Yes.
And, those ideas, like accessibility, I feel is the thing that's,
key, yes.
is the key, right? Getting it out as much as possible.
And I'm very happy to see, yes, that Tantra has become much more a popular
much more
word,
familiar.
Familiar. So there's a lot of fear. There has been a lot of fear around that word because automatically you say Tantra, people think tantric sex.
So what is tantric sex?
What is tantric sex? Well, tantric sex is very...
Not pink tantra. What do you think that tantric sex is? What is it that people are like afraid of?
Interesting question.
I think they are afraid of talking about sex, but tantric sex on itself seems to be absolutely fantastic. The guy can last for hours. The woman will have multiple orgasms. And what else can you ask when you have sex with somebody and it's beautiful and it lasts and you don't want to stop and it doesn't need to stop and it builds your energy and you get out from there so powerful and ready to move mountains. It's fantastic. But talking about it in public, it's a different thing.
Or even in private,
I
feel. Even in private, right? Because people become self-conscious and it becomes too real sometimes. Like, people are used to just kind of like making their way into sex in some kind of like, conqueror aspect. And then once they get to that place, letting go and going into some sort of like automatic zone, like whatever they know or whatever they've done or whatever, their guesswork is, right? So becoming actually conscious makes them self-conscious, which makes it hard for them to go from there to being sexual, because we've equated being sexual with like not being aware, like not being conscious, right? Kind of like you're not yourself, and that way you have permission to like be sexual. So when you go back into a space of consciousness, for most people without practice, it becomes very scary, and threatening, because you feel like you're going to be judged. You feel like you're losing the passion, the heat, the thing that kind of like pushes you beyond your familiar boundaries into another space. You feel like you're losing all of that, and it makes you feel your partner will become also self-conscious or, like creeped out. So it's very important to kind of accept the fact that being present and being in like conscious space during sex, it's actually a turn on. Like we were saying with like the BDSM, being able to talk about it in advance and having like the safe word during it, and being in sex space, but also being there enough, right, is a kind of like higher consciousness that participates. It's a much better way of doing it than kind of like letting go.
So what I like about the Tantra and what Kat and Serge have taught me is that it's like I was talking with another person at your party about this too. It's like she was telling me how she was using Tantra to use her sexual energy to help gain insight into the problems she was dealing with in regular life. She was transferring that energy from that. And emotional energy is very powerful. And sexual energy, we have a source of it. It wells from within us. So Tantra is a way to take that and to help us give us the emotional energy to decide what to do next with our problems. So it's been very helpful for that for me. So and Kat and I have been working on that too. So,
do you have a favorite practice or exercise or something that takes you?
Well, yeah, I do. There's different kinds of like emotional exercises you can do for yourself when you think about your chakras, and we all have 7 chakras inside of us. They represent different kinds of emotions and experiences and things like that. And when they're like wheels that are always turning, always putting out and always giving out energy. So when you put your focus on them, and you can sort of remind yourself to be compassionate with yourself, and it kind of calms you. And I've turned that into my practice, and it's been really helpful for me. So
it's a form of meditative practice.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And you do that daily?
Yeah, I do. When I'm having anxiety, or when I wake up in the morning, or when I feel like it. So it works. I know. I love doing it. So.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say that yes, it's not just. A lot of people think that you have to be in a relationship to practice Tantra, and actually you can do the practice by yourself, because Tantra says you are your own best lover, and it's actually a good idea to start when you are single. Because when you do meet the partner, you can actually bring the practice into the relationship, and it prepares you for love. Tantra is the ancient art of love, and it brings us to the meditations. And the practice brings us to that frequency of love, where we are into our heart and live from the heart. And that in itself makes life so much more beautiful
Yeah.
and enjoyable.
So what's the puja circle, ceremony that you do?
The puja is an old tradition from Tantra. We have participated in a few of them, but the pujas that we call Tantra games that we are actually organizing are much more a fun experience between partners. So the idea is to have 2 circles, the man in the center, the woman outside, and we try to have as many, I would say, masculine energy than we have feminine energy. And so people pair each other, and we do a game for 3-5 minutes. The game will be
A practice, which is playful, right? So we call it
playful. So it can be feeling energy in the hands of the person in front of you. It can be
dancing for the other. So the art of seduction. We bring the art of seduction. The woman dances for the man and awakens him.
Or
taking a feather and caressing the person's face and hands and body with the feather.
Mimicking
mirror dancing. So,
dance.
So we one person leads with a dance or movement, and the other person has to mirror. So follow the other person. So it's very interesting to again, it's like surrendering, right? there's a leader and the follower, and then we can switch. So we learn different relationship skills.
Yeah, we practice for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you thank the partner in front of you, you ground again, and you move. So you change partner, you step on the side, and you arrive in front of a new partner, and you will do another exercise or another game, another practice. And it lasts as long as we want, actually, generally until the initial partners come back together.
Okay.
And and it really gives a very funny and pleasant tone to the evening, but at the same time, it is really about showing people. I won't say teaching, but showing people that there are plenty of practices that we have done when we were kids, or when we were in love, or when we were young, like riding in the back of the other, and you try to remember what it is. It's this little exercise you were doing when you were 10, maybe, and doing it with your partner push you to connect, to really understand the other person without words. So it is very, very pleasant for that, I would say.
And what people say at the end of the puja, they feel this sense of oneness, of family. Like they've started with maybe strangers in the room, which is going to be the case at the event. We will open the evening with the puja, creating that sacred space for people, and to come, and they're going to be with strangers. So a little bit awkward, maybe feeling a little bit at ease, and we bring them into that space. And by the end, they're going to feel like they know each other forever. They feel very comfortable, and they can enjoy the rest of the evening and the other experiences, feeling completely safe because they have connected from that energy. Of love.
Yeah, that's lovely. So, Ian, what other experiences will come after the puja?
So after the puja circle, we have there's a play area. We have a wax table. There's a fruit platter. You can eat fruit off of someone. We also have models walking around with different tasks like dominatrix and kidnapping and grape feeders and all kinds of sexy fun.
What's a kidnapper?
Kidnapper kidnaps someone, obviously,
and takes them
away, and then they have to do what they say. And then the kidnappee tells the kidnapper tells the kidnappee what to do, and they have to obey. But they agree beforehand, so it's not so bad. So it's consensual kidnapping. So
are models both genders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So and
how many of them?
We're still training people, so there's many models.
Okay.
So, I think there's 6 right now. So, and we'll see who else wants to come. And then there's let's see, what else do we have? There's
you have a tantra love coach who will kind of
he's
facilitating.
He'll be guiding,
the play
facilitating.
Area.
The tantra love coach will be there. So his name's Justin. Real life.
And do you have a red line? You know, where in the play is there?
Well, people decide what they want to do. So I don't think there's anything that can't, as long as everyone's okay with it.
Okay.
So, and
is the play area open, or do you have like little private spaces?
No, it's an open play area. So, and if you're comfortable with people watching you, then you can do what you want. So as long as you ask permission and everybody's okay. So we also have people watching to make sure everything is safe and that everything goes the right way. So we have people trained in that way too. Everyone's very experienced with that kind of stuff and been to many different kinds of play parties. We have, I think sometimes they're called monitors. So everybody's trained in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we have people doing that too.
Yeah.
So and everybody keeps an eye out for what's going on. So we also have a bar where you can drink alcoholic beverages too. There's a amazing pole dancer. Her name's Jade the Healer. We have a phenomenal burlesque performer from Moulin Blue Cabaret She's so amazing. I'm so excited for her performance.
What's her name?
Cosette.
Corset?
Cosette is her name.
Cosette,
yeah.
Not corset.
No, Cosette, that's not her name. So she's going to do a really great job.
Yeah.
And
then you have the body painter,
yeah, and we're going to be doing some body painting too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have at least one body painter. I'm talking to another one right now too. So if you want to get body painted for your costume, you come a little early and we can take care of that for you. We'd love to do that. These people are amazing. It's so amazing what they do.
Yeah, it's a great experience if you haven't,
True works of art.
Yeah, because you kind of see your body in a totally new way. Wow.
Yeah. It's very sexy.
Yeah.
So very empowering. So empowering is one of the themes of the night, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, what we've been working on is amazing artwork. I'm creating so much amazing artwork, paintings. We're going to, the theme is Boudoir Surreal. And surreal paintings have this sort of like larger than life quality or external to life, things you wouldn't see in real life. And so that's really been like a big inspiration. It's being held at an art gallery. So we're having an amazing surrealist painter, very sexual painter. His name's Claudio Kashka. He's going to be featuring his artwork. And I'm also like, I guess I'm a painter now too, because I've been painting like so much stuff, all these different kinds of like abstract art pieces that are going to hang from the ceiling. We're going to transform the space. It's going to look like you're going into a whole other world. Like reams and reams of paper with paint, neon glowing lights, UV black lights. The theme, there's 5 dress codes: tuxedo or lingerie, which is traditional sexy masquerade. Then we get into, there's Burning Man themed, because a lot of the people are Burning Man themed, which sort of goes into the surreal, the burners. There's going to be a lot of burners there. And then we get into the more surreal aspects of things, the body art, the body paint. You can dress in neon, and also the fetish, because I have my roots in the Shibari and the BDSM. But I really want, my dream was to transform a space, take a blank canvas, which is an art gallery, it's a warehouse space, and cover the place with fluorescent paintings and black lights everywhere, and it's going to be so amazing looking to go inside.
You have a DJ?
Oh, we have an amazing DJ also. His name's Mark Salner. He runs the Universal Love Tribe, and he works events all the time. He has his own amazing professional equipment, and he's bringing some guest DJs with him too. So I think Mark Florence is good. Party. Yeah, it's going to be an amazing party.
So long as like people hear about it, I don't know how they would.
Well, we've been advertising on Facebook, on Instagram. We bought ads. We've been networking, going to different kinds of things like this, bringing my setup to different kinds of parties. And we're having a really amazing turnout. So I'm very excited about all that.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll happen more regularly.
Oh, definitely. The next one we haven't decided if we're going to do one either for Art Basel, for New Year's, or Valentine's Day. So it's going to be one of those 3. We're not sure yet. So we want to see how this one goes first, and then we're going to make a decision. And we also might just
maybe both.
Well, maybe both. Maybe both. We'll see. One day at a time. I want to finish this one first, and then plan for the next one.
New Year's to Valentine's. There is enough time. Yeah, you want to finish this one. But I'm telling you, like, word of mouth will get, double or triple the amount of people who will come to the next one.
Oh, I really hope so.
Everyone who has a good time will tell their friends, who will be like, when's the next one?
Okay, everyone who comes has to have a good time.
Yes.
Listen, I know some of you are coming, so.
We'll make sure. We'll make sure of every time.
Yeah, I'll be coming.
Yes.
There's a good team in place. So. Thank you, Jan, for organizing this party.
Tell me something. I'm sorry. Tell me one last thing. What's the connection with the Rothschilds and Salvador Dali?
Oh, so in the 1970s, there was a socialite named Rothschild who lived, I think, in Long Island. I'm not sure. But they made an amazing surrealist ball.
He did?
It was a woman. It was a woman. And it's been an inspiration for so many parties in that. The traditional masquerade ball, the Eyes Wide Shut galas, all the 50 Shades of Grey, it all comes from that. So the people came dressed as surrealist paintings. Some of them had body paint, they had amazing hats, they had all this kinds of stuff. And the idea was that people need an escape. People need to free their identity and then reemerge as something new. So that's the goal of these kinds of events, and that relates to the Burning Man, it relates to the fetish world. They're places that are subcultures and countercultures. So, if you study sociology, you know that society needs these places. And this is where these are the kinds of places where social change happens.
Change happens, exactly.
Yeah. Sexuality is, it's on one hand, it's, traditionally behind closed doors. because it's so personal to us. But what's great about this place is it's a way to express your sexuality in a public way, and where everyone's going to have the same kind of mindset.
Right.
And you will reemerge. You will put on a cocoon and come out a different person from this. That's always what happens. That's why I love doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And I feel that this is a great time, entering the Aquarian age. I mean, we have a little while to go, but by the beginning of 2020, we will have left behind us, a bunch of planetary conjunctions that have not been helpful. And we'll be, in the Aquarian age. And I feel like a new sexual revolution is going to come up. So, it's important for people to learn, open up, listen, speak, and join us. Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming. And everyone out there, thank you for listening. Remember the parties this Saturday. Thank you for trusting me as your sex whisperer. And until next episode, speak sex. If I could make love incessantly, I would be God.